Everybody, and welcome. Good Shabbos. Welcome to those of you who are here in the sanctuary. Oh, well, I should tell you where we are if you're on Zoom, just in case you didn't know that, but you probably knew that. Welcome to Temple Sinai in Reno, Nevada. I'm Rabbi Myra Soifer, the Rabbi Emerita here, and I have the privilege tonight of standing in for our rabbis Zober, who are off celebrating a family simcha. So welcome to those of you who are here. Welcome to those who are online, wherever you may be. And I'm going to pull a moment of personal privilege before we get started for some special welcomes tonight. Visiting from Panama, Joel, I think you get the prize for distance tonight, is my guess, is my supervisor from when I was in Peace Corps. Joel Alvarez is sitting right there. Wave. Yeah, there you go. And it's his first time in a synagogue. There you go. Applause. See, all you have to do is be from Panama here, and you get applause. And I have, when you meet him at the Oneg and you want to talk to him, his English is flawless, but he spent the night sleeping in the Vegas airport in chairs. So if he's a little groggy, it's not a matter of language, but I think he slept pretty well. And I also want to welcome my very dear friends, Reverend Deborah Whitlock Lax, who is the pastor at Bethel AME. And with her is her husband, who's also a pastor, Pastor Richard Lax. Deborah and I study Hebrew every week, and she is wow. She is wow. I'll just leave it at that. So I want to welcome them, and I want to welcome everybody, of course, and those of you who are online as well. We are using tonight, as we always do, the Mishkan Tefillah prayer book. And just in case you haven't used a Hebrew prayer book before, we go from right to left, because Hebrew goes from right to left. So it might seem to you like the front is the back, but it isn't. It's the front. And the other thing I want to say about the prayer book, again, if you're not familiar with this prayer book, and I know the Zobers say this all the time, so probably many of you have heard this spiel, but on the right hand page, whenever you open like a 2-page thing, the right-hand page has the Hebrew and a pretty literal translation. The left-hand page has readings that are poetic or paraphrases. They pick up the theme, but they're not the literal translations of the prayer. What else do I want to say? The other thing that I want to say is like my most recent cause or thing. It's my soapbox, I guess, is what it is. Some of you know, probably a lot of you know, that I've been dealing with orthopedic issues, challenges for the last couple of years. So I'm really, really sensitive to the fact that there's a lot of places in our prayer book where we say, please rise. And that may not be physically comfortable for people. So you can certainly rise physically, but you can also rise in spirit. And I even heard from some of my colleagues that they have people who simply rise like in posture in their chair. And I'm pretty sure if the Almighty cares about us rising or not, which I'm not sure, but if the Almighty does, that any of those ways of rising will do just fine. And the most important thing is to be comfortable and to be safe. So if I don't say that when I ask folks to rise, please know that that's the case. You can, any way that works for you. Hi, Sharon. A long-lost Sinaiite has wandered back in. It's good. Okay, was there any other housekeeping thing I wanted to do? I don't think so. So after those little housekeeping businesses, and also after the week, I don't know what kind of week everybody's had, but I'm sure that it's been a week with all the stuff that goes on in a week, right? So we want to turn from that daily, the daily whatevers to Shabbat. And sometimes that's not so easy to do. One of the ways I like to do it is with a nigun, which is a wordless melody, and we can kind of get ourselves centered into a sacred place. And the nice thing about the wordless part is that sometimes the words get in the way. So sometimes a melody is the best way to find our sacred center. So we're going to start out with a nigun. A lot of you know this tune, and if you don't know the tune, it's really easy to pick up. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, Yalla, yalla, la, la, la. Let's do that again. Yalla, la, 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 yalla, la, 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 la. Yalla, la, 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 yalla, la, 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 la. Yalla, la, 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 yalla, la, 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 la. Yalla, yalla, la, la, slightly different tune. Yalla, la, la, la. Yalla, la, la, la. Yalla, la, la, la. Yalla, la, 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 ya. Yalla, la, 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 yalla, la, 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 yalla, la, 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 yalla, la, 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 yalla, la, 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 yalla, la, 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 yalla, la, la, la. Everybody take a good deep breath of Shabbos air, because that's what we just did. We made Shabbos air. Let's turn to page 7 in our prayer books. The other thing I was going to say is I will try to be good about giving you the page numbers, but if I fail to, it probably means that we just turned the page. So if you find yourself lost, just turn the page. You'll find yourself there. That reading, which reading did I want to do? I don't know. Yeah, that reading there, the whole reading. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. And we're going to turn backwards, which is not the Hebrew way, just in case you're wondering. But we're going to turn backwards to page 2 for the lighting of the Shabbat candles. And Rose Whitaker is going to lead us in candle lighting. Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. All right, we've welcomed Shabbat. We've brought a little more light into the world, and we welcome Shabbat with the reading. We also welcome Shabbat with psalms, and the psalms, of course, were once upon the time sung. And no, Deborah, there is no edut in this psalm. It's an inside Hebrew study joke. Turn to the back of your prayer book, page 344. And this is a song that's based on Psalm 96, and I think most of you know it. Shiru Adonai Kol haaretz shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Let's do it again. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz shiru Adonai shir chadash. Shir chadash. That was so good. Let's turn to page 20 for Lachadodi. Anybody want to guess what verses we're going to do? There is a reason. Does anybody want to know the reason? Yes. 1, 2, 5, and 9. Because in the old Union prayer book, these were the only verses that were in there. For anybody who's old enough to remember the old little tiny Union prayer book, the other verses weren't there. And so a lot of people just got accustomed to 1, 2, 5, and 9. You ready? Yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da yada da yada da yada da yada da da yada da yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da yada da yada da yada da yada da da words. Lechadodi likrat kala yada da yada da yada da Oneg Shabbat nikabela yada da Lechadodi likrat kala yada da yada da yada da Oneg Shabbat nikabela yada da Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishme'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shemo tiferet v'letehila Lechadodi likrat kala yadada 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 Oneg Shabbat nikabela yadada Lechadodi likrat kala yada da yada da yada da Oneg Shabbat nikabela yada da Likrat Shabbat lechuven echa Ki mikor haberacha Merosh mikedem nisucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat techila Lechadodi likrat kala yada da yada da yada da Oneg Shabbat nikabela yada da Lechadodi likrat kala yada da yada da yada da Oneg Shabbat nikabela yada da Hitoreri, kiva ore kumi uri, shidaberi, kevod Adonai alai nigla, lechadodi likrat kala yada da yada da yada da, Oneg Shabbat nikabela. Yada lechadodi likrat kala yada da Oneg Shabbat nikabela. As you are comfortable and wherever you are, turning towards the doorway, this last verse is actually an invitation to Shabbat to join us. So in case the Shabbat queen doesn't know where the door is, we're going that way. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala Gam b'simcha u'b'tzahala toch emune am segula, boi chala. Let's hear it. Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Oneg Shabbat nikabela yadadai. Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Oneg Shabbat. I think we can do it better and take off the roof. La yadadai, 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 one more time on the chorus, one more time. Yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da yada da yada da yada da yada da. And if you're standing, let's be seated. We're turning to page 26 for the Chetzi Kaddish. Yitkadash merabah ve'alma divarach chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kahariv v'meru amen. Yehesh merabah mevarach la'alam ul'almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitada v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amihiran be'alma ve'imeru amen. We turn to the top of page 29. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. And there is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nevarech, let us bless. And as you are comfortable, we do so on page 28, rising for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed. And if you're standing, please be seated. And I am going, where am I going? The very bottom of page 30. And I mean the very bottom of page 30. The darkness of the first day differed from the darkness that preceded creation. The root of ma'ariv, in this prayer we're about to do, can also mean mix. suggesting God mixed light into the primordial darkness. The tiniest spark of light can transform darkness. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We turn now to page 32. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadta Al kain Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu Kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha U'b'mitzvotecha le'alam bo'ed Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We turn to page 34 for the Shema, and if it is your custom, as you are comfortable, to rise. Shema Yisrael. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Am Ba'ed. And please be seated. And excuse me for a minute. Anybody who's in our town all week knows that there's all these performers who come to Reno and then they talk about Reno throat. Yeah? Okay. That should help. Page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha Ubelechtecha baderech, ubeshochbecha, ubekumecha, ukshatam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot ben enecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha, ubihisharecha, leman tizkiru, Va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. At the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. On page 40, the Mi Chamocha. We want it louder next time. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, Norah tehilot oseh peleh, Norah tehilot oseh peleh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Za'eli anu ve'ameru, Za'eli anu ve'ameru. You ready? Ya-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da. I think I forgot the last line. That wasn't on purpose. It was a mistake. Let's turn to page 43. At the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, va'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. And we turn to page 47. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. On page 46, we begin the tefillah. And again, as you are comfortable, please rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. 48. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor B'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh hakol, v'zocher chazdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi ge'ula livnei b'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. Page 50. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ברופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. And at the top of page 53. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. And if you would please be seated, I'm going to proceed a little differently tonight. It is generally our custom to go from here silently for the rest of the Amidah, but then we miss some readings that I really like. So we're not going to do that tonight. We will do some silent prayer, but we're going to do some of the readings that I like first because I got the pulpit tonight. So page 55, top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. And then page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of our soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And now we'll pause for some moments of silence, whether you go back and look at some of the prayers that are part of the Amidah, or pray simply the words of your heart, or just enjoy the silence. We pause. Ratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri V'go'ali. Do we not know that tune? Well, now you do. Let's do it again. Yehiyu el ratzon imrefi. And there's an echo. Imrefi. V'hegyon libi. Lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, v'go'ali. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, Adonai, our rock and our Redeemer. And together we say, Amen. All right, let's turn to our Torah service on page 245 is where we're going. And that English reading at the bottom of page 245, let's do it together. Happy is the one who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding, for its value is greater than silver, its yield than fine gold. It is more precious than rubies. No treasure can match it. All right, who am I calling up to open the ark and carry the Torah? Jennifer Gorden and Shalom Gorden, if they would come forward. And as you are comfortable doing, rise as we open the doors to the ark and take the Torah out. And we turn to the top of the next page, 246. Okay, yeah, go for it. It is that green one. Whoever's going to take it. Shalom's going to take it. Right here. All right. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Not yet. Ki mitzion in a minute. Tetzei Torah udeva Adonai mirushalayim. Page 248. Baruch shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah Torah le'amo Yisrael v'hikdushato Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gadlul Adonai iti Onromema Shemo Yachdav. Now Lecha Adonai Hagedula v'Hagevura Hatifeh. Thank you. Et v'Hanetzach v'Hahod Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'hamit nahaseh lechol rosh. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. All right, you know what? Go sit down, because with the Torah, because that way I don't have to bend my knee. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. You got a hold of it? Yes. Good. Really? Yeah. Okay. All right, got the whole thing? Well, you do, don't you? All right, you want to put it on the left hand, maybe? That's how strong young men are. Thank you. Let's all be seated. Okay, before I call up, well, let me make sure I know where I am here. Okay. So before I call folks up for our Aliyah, I meant to ask when I was introducing Joel and the Whitlock Blacks team, if there were other people here tonight that are here for the first time. Is there anybody here tonight that's, yes? Tell us who you are.
I'm Gavin. This is my mom, Emily.
Hi. Welcome.
Yeah, this is, I guess, our first time really attending the service.
Good.
That you sent down.
Good. We're glad you're here. And I meant to ask that and welcome all. And I just got so involved with having my friend from Panama. So I want to say a couple things before we start the portion tonight. So you should have all got this thing when you came in, right? This handout. And the Torah portion is in there. So, and I'll get to this in a minute. First of all, let me just give you the setting for this portion. It's Numbers 32:16 to 24. And what's happened is the Israelites are settling in the land, but there's two tribes that don't want to cross over the Jordan River and they want to stay on the east side. And they ask Moses if they can do that. Moses is a little suspicious. They say it's because the land there is better for their livestock, but Moses thinks maybe they're checking out of the community and they're not going to be there particularly for defense. And when they assure Moses that that's not the case, that they're actually going to be kind of like a front line of shock troops, if you will, Moses says, okay, so that's the context. Now, I have an assignment for you all, and so we'll get there in the sermon, but here's your assignment. I want you to look, you might notice that the portion I'm reading tonight is a little longer than what we usually read, and the reason for that is my assignment. The assignment is, I want you to look at the first verse, which is verse 16, and then I want you to look at the last verse, which is 24, and I want you to see, kind of compare it, and see if there's something in that comparison that catches your eye, okay? Obviously, I'm fishing for something suspicious, so you might not find it. I mean, not something suspicious, something specific. It's not suspicious at all. So you might not find it, but that's your assignment. So as you take a look at the English of that. And so I want to invite for the Aliyah tonight, my very dear friend, Dr. Jeffrey Gingold. Ya'amod Yaakov Nachum ben Yechiel Nisan la'aliyah Torah. And before we do it, I have this thought, because there are, I know I've got at least a few people, I've got at least one who's never looked in the inside of a Torah scroll. So if you want to see what's going on here, feel free to come on up. And that includes anybody in the congregation who maybe has not looked inside a Torah scroll and would like to. Come on up. Okay, this is long, so you may have to catch me.
I've got it here in case.
Okay. I want you on this side. Deborah, take this gateway for me. Where'd it go? Wait, I lost it. Okay, there it is. Smart Alex doing it in Spanish. Are you ready? So we do a blessing before and after. So if you want to just crowd around so you can look, please do. It really does not bite, and neither do I. Well, that's not true, but on a good day, I don't. Well. Okay, so here's where we're starting tonight. Right here. Okay.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamborach.
Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayikshu elav vayomeru kederotzon nivne lemikneinu poho ve'arihim letapenu va'anachnu nechale tzchushim livnei bnei Yisrael ad asher im havionuhum El mekomam v'yashav tapenu be'arei hamivtzah mipnei yoshvei haaretz lo nashu el batenu ad hitnachel b'nei Yisrael ish nachlato כי לא ננחל איתם מעבר לירדן והלאה, כי באה נחלתנו עלינו מעבר הירדן מזרחה. ויאמר אליהם משה, אם תעשו את הדבר הזה, אם תחלצו לפני אדוני למלחמה, ואבא לכם כל חלוץ את הירדן לפני אדוני, אחד הורישו את אויביו מפניו, ונכבשה הארץ לפני אדוני ואחת תשובו, והייתם נקיים מאדוני ומישראל, והייתה הארץ הזאת לכם לאחוזה אחת לפני אדוני, ואם לא תעשון כן, הנה חטאתם לאדוני, ודעו חטאתכם אשר תמצא אתכם, בנו לכם ערים לטפכם, וגדרות לצונכם, והיוצא מפיכם תעשו.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. So, before you stay put, because I want to do the blessing, but I want everybody to see this is tonight's a double portion because some Jewish years are a leap year, so there's enough portions to go around. But then when it isn't a leap year, which tonight isn't, some of them have to double up. So tonight's a double portion. And the end of that portion is the end of the book of Numbers. And so y'all can see, that's the one time where you can see in the Torah where there's something going on because there's a big space. So when we finish a book of Torah, we say, Chazak, Chazak, Benit Chazek, which means may we be strong and go from strength to strength. Yes? All right. So all you guys can go sit down. Jeffrey, for you, having been called to Torah, and thank you for
Thank you.
spotting me. So I am having tallis trouble tonight. I should say, when I was evacuated from Panama, I forgot this tallis, and Joel brought it.
That's the one.
So, and my community guide guarded it for over 3 years, Joel, something like that. All right, I'm not doing from the book.
Am I finished?
No, you're not finished.
Okay.
Mishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu. May the one who blessed our mothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, and Bilhah and Zilpah, and our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, bless you, having been called up to Torah tonight. May the words of Torah be your blessing and light your way, and may you know health and joy and all the happiness that you deserve, Jeffrey. And thank you for being our Aliyah tonight. Shabbat Shalom. I'm putting Zilpah and Bilhah in all my prayers. I think they've gotten a raw deal, but that's a story for a whole nother time. Okay, except I just told it to you. Let's turn to page 252 with Torah before us. No, do I want to do the Mishaberach first? Yes. Okay, that's what I want to do. With the Torah before us and thinking about the blessings that Torah contains, we think also about those who are in need of the blessing of healing on this night. And we recall that the word for healing in Hebrew is shlemut, which means wholeness. So it may be healing from a disease, but it may be some kind of wholeness as well. On our healing list tonight are Laurel Bartleson, Kathy Bartlett, Tracy Bartlett, Danny Berger, Laura Borsoff, Sue Berkhammer, Laura Cohen, Robert Dickens, Joel Flammenbaum, Jeffrey Four, Alan Gordon, Stephen Gould, Jane Grossman, Margaret Haberlin, Marlene Harris, Debbie Herman, Harvey Higdon, Rabbi Norman Hirsch, Scott Johnson, Kevin Knox, Iris Law, Harav Miriam Bat Shifra Vepinchas, which is me, Harav Miriam Yael Chaya Bat Sarah, Rabbi Marcia Prager, Tim Ober, Carol Pevney, Judy Ramos, Shirley Rutkovitz, Sarah Bat Chava, Marianne Schenker, Phil Shallett, Bobby Wells, Usher Zalik. We think of folks who have been affected by coronavirus, maybe other diseases. Jewish communities in the Ukraine and elsewhere that may be suffering. If you're online and there are names that you would like to add, feel free to put them into the chat. And if you are here, as I kind of move around the room, if there are names that you would add to those that we include in our healing list tonight, please do. So, Jeffrey. Thank you. In the back?
Scarlet Rain and Benjamin Gosney.
Thank you. Thank you.
Melissa Peters and Sephora Ornelas.
Thank you.
Molly Cordova.
Thank you.
Cody Greenwood.
Thank you.
Adriana Greenwood.
Thank you. Rose? Yes? Thank you. Yes?
Ellen Pansky, Philip Pansky.
Thank you.
Lisa Lee and Donna Wiley.
Thank you. Miss anybody? I would add Roger Johnson, Nan Hiles, Rabbi Audrey Karotkin, and Reverend Carla Bowman. And we turn to our Misha Berach prayer on page 253. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imahotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imahotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So I would like to invite Matt Lakoff up to for Hagbah and Tova McGilvray for Galila. And before we do it, come on up, and everyone, please, if you're able or comfortable, rise. But before we do it, Matt, dang it, it's with sadness that we invite. This is Matt's last Shabbat with us, no?
My last night in Reno.
Oh my gosh. Well, and you should be here, and we're glad. Matt's going on to San Francisco, where he has a job with Hillel doing communications.
No.
No?
Jewish education.
Jewish education. Okay. Anyways, going to San Francisco. And we will miss you. And thank you, dear, for being such a wonderful part of this congregation and the UNR Jewish community. And we're going to miss you, kiddo.
Thank you.
So, all right, now, ready?
All right, Tova, can you? Yeah.
V'zot haTorah shesam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. Oti Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yadadai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai-dai. Page 256. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tovechecha meushar d'rachecha darchei noam v'chol netzivotecha shalom. Ashivenu Adonai Elecha
Shabbat, Kadesh, Kadesh Yameinu, Kadesh Yameinu,
Thank you. I hope it's just great. Thank you. Miss you. Come back. All right, let's be seated. Let me see if I can get this grunky throat out of here. Okay.
Rabbi,
Yes, dear.
can you adjust your tallest? You're making us nervous.
Can I what? Oh,
Adjust your tallest. You're making us
I know, it's making me crazy. You know, that's what happens when you leave it in Panama for umpty years. Let's see if we can, what I obviously need to do is get a tallest clip, huh? Okay. I may have to make you nervous again, though, because it seems to be sliding. And I've got stuff all over the place here. All right, so as I already explained, in our portion of tonight, the Israelites have finally settled into the promised land, but two of the tribes, Reuben and Gad, want to settle just outside its borders east of the Jordan River. Their rationale for doing so, as I said, is that this is land better for raising their livestock. Moses wants to be certain that they aren't bailing out on the other tribes by dwelling far enough away to avoid fighting on their behalf, especially if the need arises. But once the Gadites and the Reubenites promise to serve as shock troops, if you will, as the front line for the others, then Moses grants their request. So I gave you an assignment. It was to look at the first and last verses of the portion I just read, either in English or in Hebrew. It's going to work either way. To compare them, and is there something that sort of maybe kind of jumps out at you? And again, I'm going for something particulars, but anybody see anything? Yes.
Moses at the end says, build the town for the children before the sheepfold.
And at the beginning, what do they
I
say?
think it's the sheepfold before the town.
Dr. Neva Donovan is no slouch. That's it. If you look at the first verse, right, the Israelites talk about, the tribes of Gad and Reuben say that on the east side of the Jordan, they will build sheepfolds for their flocks and cities for their children. So the flocks and then the kids, right? When Moses, in the last verse, grants that request, he reverses the order, telling them to build towns for your children and sheepfolds for your flocks. Children, flocks, the other order. So our 11th century French commentator Rashi sees this right away, as did our commentator Neva Donovan, and draws particular insight from it. So I didn't give you this assignment, but now there's a part 2. Anybody want to take a guess as to what Rashi thinks that this word order reversal is all about? What is it supposed to teach us? Yes, in the back.
The tribal leaders are interested in the land for the sake of the sheep, but Moses is saying, put the kids before the animals.
Okay, that's sort of it. Anybody want to nuance that a little more? You're going in the right place. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody?
I would say to expand on that Moses sees what they want to do, and he's noticing that they're really caring more about the economic value of the land. But Moses is reminding them, you need to care more about the commandments that God gives you before you care about sort of what you can get, what you need to do.
Yeah.
And part of that includes making sure that your children keep it.
Okay. All right. That's going further even than I was going to go tonight, but good. Thank you. So you're getting the general gist, and I think it's actually, when Rashi tells you it, it's of course obvious. The Rashi hears Moses as very subtly telling these two tribes that they've got their priorities backwards, is the long and short of it. That they should value their children over their livestock, and their language, which is to say the word order of their statements, should reflect that. So it gives them a little gentle oots that you've got your priorities turned around. Now, we need to be honest that in biblical times, that order of priorities may actually not have been the case. Livestock may have had more currency than children, to be honest. We don't have any Gadites or Reubenites around to ask about that. But by the time of our medieval commentators, like Rashi, and surely in our time, we think that's the right order of priorities. We at least say that we should value our children, our kids, our progeny, over our stuff, whether our stuff is livestock or otherwise. Or we think we should. So if we grant that, even if it may be anachronistic, then these tribes have spoken in a way that belies their values. Consistencies of priorities would require that they speak of their concern for their children first, before any words about their livestock. And so Moses is telling them, albeit I think kind of gently so, when he reverses the word order of that first verse as he repeats it in our final verse tonight. All of which got me to thinking about how we too may claim to hold certain values, but then give hints that we're not really living up to those claims. How so? Well, first of all, just like in tonight's portion, with our words, do we verbally reverse order what we claim to hold most important? Saying perhaps something like, gosh, I really love my house and my family. Oops. Might that word order tell us that it's time to check our priorities, as Moses suggests to those in tonight's portion? But it's not just word order that may tip us off to some needed values stock taking. How about, for instance, the way in which we allocate our time? I've got an idea for an exercise that we might try to see if we're really living true to the values we claim. How about tracking our time, say in the week to come, and taking careful note of where we allocate most of it? Now, I'm not talking about those hours required of us on the job or in school and so forth. I mean discretionary time. Do we claim to value relationship above all, but then spend more time on our computer or phones than with people? Or do we claim to be working on our health when we spend more time on the couch than in the gym? You get the idea. I'm thinking that a daily time diary might yield some challenging insights about the priorities that we are really living. So we've got our words and our allocation of time as two ways to check if we're truly living our values. And here's one more. An obvious one, I dare say. Where are we spending our money? Again, our discretionary spending, not what's required to pay the mortgage and so forth. So back to that health thing, for instance. If we claim to value healthy living, but our receipt at the grocery store has more Cheetos and ice cream than veggies, well, either you've got my grocery store receipt, or you're not honoring that supposed commitment to health. Or how about a careful look at your credit card or bank statement? Are there more charges to the manicurist than to the bookstore? Well, so much for a claim to value intellect over appearance. Did you spend more on those little self-luxuries than on charities of any sort? Uh-oh. So much for a commitment to tikkun olam and social justice. I'm sure there are many more and probably better examples of what I'm getting at here. But again, you get the idea. The point is that where we spend our money tells us more about what we value than all our pontificating to the contrary. Are we putting our money where our mouth claims our values to be, or not? I mentioned that the portion of Torah that I read tonight was a little bit longer than usual, and it turns out that the sermon is a little bit shorter. Really, it is. I checked the word count. That's because Moses' message tonight, I think, is pretty straightforward. The priorities we claim aren't always the ones we're living. Whether in our words, our allocation of time, our expenditure of money, or other ways that we might think of. So we might want to check and see if our lived values are the same as the ones we hold ideally. And if not, well, clearly we need to make changes to align our real and ideal. That's a good thing to do at any time, but maybe especially now in days and weeks to come, because, believe it or not, the Jewish high holidays are only 2 months away. So if we heed Moses' message to the Gadites and the Reubenites tonight, then we might have lots less work to do come Yom Kippur. Halavai. Wouldn't that be nice? Shabbat Shalom. Let's turn in our prayer books to the Aleinu, and let me warn you, I'm doing a different one tonight. The one at the top of page 283, because I like that one better. And I'd like to invite Barton Barrow to come on up and open the doors of the ark for us. And again, as you are comfortable, please rise. Top of 283. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת תפילה לייצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגדול עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar v'chaya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad Ushema Thank you, dear. Shabbat shalom. Let's all be seated. Thanks, hon. We turn in our prayer books now to page 294 as we prepare to remember departed loved ones with the Kaddish. In this congregation, we are remembering the recent death and Shiva of Elsie Caldwell, great aunt of Rabbi Sarah Zober. We are in Shloshim for those who died in the past 30 days, for Lance Chontos, husband of Nancy Chontos, and Louis Ray, family friend of the Rabbis Zober. And we are in the first year of mourning for Al Grossman, Jeff Blank, Richie Zorn, Catherine Linsky Foley, Henry Hank Froelich, Setsuko Olenichuk, Barbara Gonzalez, Aaron Yosef, Arthur Rubin, Tova Bat Meir Vitirza, Wendy Alderman, Raymond Russell Riker, Judith Tamkin, David Torgman, Lorenzo Otero, Anita Goldwasser, Jamie Smith, Mark Umlas, Francine Catherine Barr, and David ben Avraham, Dave Levine. And this is the yard site of Stephen Barber, Herman Berger, Jeff Blank, John Francis Carroll, Florence Conti, Gary Eugene Cooper, David Frankel, Morris Frankel, David Genzel, Wayne Albert Goldwater, Al Grossman, Esther B. Horwitz, Ron E. Marks, Margaret Pavolny, Stuart Powell, Milton Schwartz, Edith Shamroth. And again, if you are online and there are names that you would add to those we recall for Kaddish, please feel free to put them in the chat. And once again, for those of you who are here, as I move my hand across, yes, darling. Are there any names you would add? Yes, Tova.
Bill Peterson.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
Buzz Houghton, Louise Curtis, and Patrick Flanagan.
Thank you.
Baby Cordova.
Thank you.
Sky Russell.
Thank you. Yes, dear.
Aaron Harrison.
Thank you. Others? And I would add the name of Norma Cohn, Zichronam Livracha. The memories of all of them are surely a blessing to those of us who knew them and mourn them. And if it is your custom to rise, and you are able, we do so now for the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divarach lutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'zman kariv v'imiru amen. Yehesh me rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah b'richu, v'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yesh alma rabba mishamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru, amen. May the source of peace, who creates peace on high, bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, and especially to all who mourn. And together, let's say, amen. Let's be seated. Who's doing announcements? Tova? I always feel like we ought to do the camp thing. Announcements, announcements, announcements. And the rest of it is a terrible way to die, a terrible way. But anyway. You had to have been
I
a
never
camper.
went to camp. So
I didn't actually either. I don't know
wasn't-
where I got that from. It's just one of those things that's in your DNA.
Well, thank you so much tonight. Thank you, Rabbi Myra, for leading services tonight. Thank you for your special guest, Joel, for joining us from so far away. Thank you to Chef Jane and Dr. Jeff Gingold for hosting our Oneg this evening. I am so excited. And the Oneg, they're graciously doing this to, I'm going to embarrass you too, shed a spotlight on Michael Gorden and all the incredible work that he has done for our congregation tonight.
And we're also welcoming Joel. If you look at the cupcakes, there's little Panama flags in them. I had to work on that.
Thank you. If getting up and joining and getting to see the inside of the Torah scroll helps spark something inside you tonight and you aspire to chant Torah as beautifully as Rabbi Myra did today, we would love to get you in our path of learning how to chant Torah. Marilyn Roberts would be your contact for that, and it is such a fun and worthy goal. As well, thank you, Rose, for running our live stream tech tonight. If you feel technologically inclined and would like to help support services with that skill set, we would love to teach you how to help run and support our live stream. As we said, and for those of you who are new here, the Oneg, so our little nosh after the meal, will be in the social hall. So that is a big left, big L is what I meant to say.
It's a right left.
It's a right left, yes. A big L toward the end of the social hall, and that will be immediately following services this evening. For those of you who are joining us virtually, we will have Yisma Zoom this week. We will not let you down, and we're going to try and take you into the social hall as well to enjoy the Oneg with us.
How do we do that? Do we cart the computer in there?
We do. I joined by my phone, so I'll be
Oh,
around with my
wow.
little phone, and I'll want you all to say hello
And they're
to
all in the phone.
Laura and
Isn't that
Chris
amazing?
and Carol, and definitely please say hi to everybody. This sheet says Torah study, but I know from Deborah's
No.
email that there is no
There's
Torah
no Torah
no
study
Torah study tomorrow, while the rabbis are away enjoying the wedding. As well, our sprucing of Sinai, which is our Sunday morning weeding project, will be canceled this week as well due to the projected extreme heat. Everybody's safety first. On Tuesday, the 18th, if you brought your lunch with you, you could enjoy lunch with the rabbis. This is undivided attention of the rabbis in the library. It's a wonderful time to pick their brains. And then that evening at 7 p.m. will be our Crafters Schmooze. So this is our monthly get-together for people who knit and dabble and craft and make things. And we just bring your thing and we'll do it together. Friday, the 21st will be our Pride Shabbat. So we're going into the weekend of Northern Nevada Pride. So that Friday evening will be our Pride Shabbat, where we celebrate, our commitment to inclusivity as our congregation, as well as highlighting songs and readings from our LGBTQ plus creators. As part of leading up to that, Marilyn Roberts, who's very crafty herself, has made a whole slew of Pride kippot that are for sale at our gift shop at $12 a piece. So those are on display this evening. And there is QR code and envelopes should you wish to purchase something tonight, if that moved you. And then Saturday, the 22nd, so Pride Shabbat Friday night, and then Northern Nevada Pride will be on Saturday. So the marching, if you are marching in the parade with us, and Rabbi Myra will be there leading the charge, that will be
Limping, but leading the charge.
that will be at 10 a.m. The location, our exact location of where we join the Pride Parade, they do not tell us that until 48 hours before the event. So I do encourage you to find the sign-up sheet that is on our Temple Sinai website and newsletter, and sign up and let us know that you intend to march with us. That way, when we get that information, you will be among the people who get the email and the thing. And thank you so much. There's this cute little QR code here. This is where you can download your Temple Sinai app if you've not already done so. And that's a wonderful place where sign-up sheets and flyers are consolidated in one place. So we'll march for Pride, and then for the entire rest of the day, we have a booth at Pride. We are a sponsor of Pride, and you can also volunteer to take a shift staffing the Pride booth at the festival. A bit of a scheduling. We didn't choose the scheduling when they scheduled Northern Nevada Pride, but another wonderful simcha that day is that same Saturday will be the bar mitzvah of Matthew Slamowitz, who is an extraordinary young man. He's going to knock your socks off, and some of us are having to make a choice about how we're spending our time. So if I don't see you marching, it's because I'll be enjoying this wonderful bar mitzvah, but then I'll see you at the festival afterwards. So.
Right, because the festival goes till when?
The festival will go forever. The festival
all
goes to
day
5 or
long.
6 p.m. So if you felt so motivated, you could hit up both events in part, if not in total. Last couple of things we'll wrap up with. On Wednesday, the 26th, this will be the joint community observance of Tish B'Av. This will be held at Temple Emmanuel. And then Friday, the 28th, will be our second Shabbat under the stars. This time it will be up in the North Reno at Las Brisas Park. So thank you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Todah.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to close with by singing a piece of the liturgy that we skipped. So if you have your little purple sheets, so this Hashkivenu is a lovely prayer that talks about, when it's less so for us because we've got lights and things like that, but it's still the case that when you go to sleep at night, you hope to God you'll get up in the morning, right? And it's a good morning when you get up and your feet are like you're above the ground. Yeah, that's a good morning. So this is a prayer for that when we lie down at night, that it should be a peaceful night and we should rise up. And I think we know this. So why don't we stand so we've got some lung power to close. And then again, we will go out to the end of the hall, hang a right. And I know, because we all know Jane's talents, it's going to be an amazing Oneg. So Don't let me get there first.
What else is there at the Oneg?
There's cupcakes, but I didn't make them. I was gonna make them, but it was too busy a week, so they're from Mix. They're even better. But there will be cupcakes at Pride. I promise that. All right. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. 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 Shabbat shalom, everybody. We'll see you at the Oneg. Good Shabbos.